Good morning, everyone. I hate to break up this pre-party, but if everybody will gather up, find a seat, and join us, we'll go ahead and get started this morning. If you're making remarks today, we would appreciate it if you could join us on the stage. There's plenty of seats up here, so if you could fill on in and take a seat, we'd certainly appreciate that. All right, I've had a chance to meet a few of you. I apologize that I didn't get a chance to meet and greet everyone. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Travis Stover, and I'm the area manager that works with the park down here. And I work for Tennessee State Parks. Today we're here to officially dedicate Tennessee's 61st state park, Ocoee River State Park. And I know that name has a special ring to it for the community that's embraced this resource, for the Tennessee State Parks team who poured their hearts into it, and our local, state, and federal partners and elected officials who've made this moment possible. We're honored to have many of those leaders and partners with us here today. As an area manager, I have a privilege of working with some incredible Tennessee State Parks, and I'm especially proud that I get to call Ocoee one of mine. Now, you may have noticed that I've got a few notes up here. Rest assured, these notes are not for me, they're for you. They're to keep me on track. All right? Because if there's one thing that's riskier than giving a park ranger a microphone, it's giving a microphone to a park ranger who's excited to talk about Tennessee State Parks. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am today. And to further add to your nervousness, I'm also a preacher's kid. So I come by some core skills honestly. Potlucks, handshakes, and the ability to go on and on much longer than anyone ever asked me to. So I'll try not to do that today. I promise I'm going to try to stay on track. But all jokes aside, I'm grateful to be here to share this moment with each and every one of you. You know, growing up as a preacher's kid, I always hoped that I'd be able to find my calling. And I believe that Tennessee State Parks is that calling for me. So I appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you today and get to share this joyous occasion. The decision to stand up Hiwassee Scenic River State Park and Ocoee River State Park as two distinct state parks allows us to better focus on what makes each one of these places unique and special. And I think every one of us here knows that a key part of that is the rivers that's tied to these places. And Polk County is especially blessed that they get to have two Tennessee State Parks in their county. So, I feel a little bit self-conscious because I'm new to learning the Ocoee, but I know the Ocoee has a rich history. It has incredible natural resources and offers world-class experiences. It's a place where people connect with the river, with adventure, and with each other. Many of you already knows what makes this place special. It's the legendary whitewater, the Olympic legacy, and the rugged beauty that surrounds us. But today's dedication marks something deeper. It's a long-term commitment to continuing to preserve and protect this special resource, to provide opportunities for public access for visitors of all ages and abilities, and to broaden our ability to educate, create adventure, and inspire stewardship. None of this would be possible without the outstanding efforts of Tennessee State Park staff and the strong support of our local, state, and federal partners and elected officials here today. Thank you all for being a part of this special moment. You know, I've had the honor throughout my career to work with some very dedicated folks, from park rangers to maintenance staff, planners, budget team members, marketing, support staff, and park leaders. Those park leaders like Director Kim Moore, Tennessee State Parks Administrator Chris Pageant, and Deputy Commissioner Tidwell. Now, if you'll indulge me a little bit further, I warned you, I'm a preacher's kid. I've got a quick story I want to share about Park Manager Angelo Giansante. He's probably already greeted over half of you this morning, and if he hadn't greeted the rest of you, he will shortly, trust me. That's who he is. Angelo and I go back a long time, almost 20 years, and we've been friends for a very, very long time. I say if you can't be friends with Angelo, you've probably got a problem in your life, and you may need to kind of examine yourself. So about a year ago, I became the area manager. And Angelo and I have been friends for years, and this is what well predates any of the time that I've been his supervisor, but he's always wanted to share things. He's a storyteller, and he's a person that shares his passions and his beliefs. And I was thinking about, my job as an area manager, and in talking with him, he said, well, Travis, you're the 5th area manager that I've helped to educate about all things Ocoee. And for a minute I thought, that's a pretty tough gig. Every few years you're having to train up a new area manager on the complexities of this place. And he told me, he said, no, not at all. He said, I love it. Because to Angelo, he loves sharing this resource with anybody and everybody, even his supervisors. So you'll get a chance to hear from him a little bit more later on. But for now, I just want to let you know how fortunate you are to have a leader like Angelo, someone who champions this park, this resource, the people, and this community. And he's got a fantastic team here, and I'm excited to see the things they do for the future. So, appreciate you indulging me. And with that being said, I'm going to now introduce to us our guide who's going to direct us through the rest of today's festivities. I'm proud to introduce someone who knows this park, this region, and this team well. Megan Plock is the Regional Director of External Affairs for the Chattanooga region, where she serves as the primary point of contact for stakeholders across 10 counties in southeast Tennessee. When she's not out working to protect these resources, you'll probably find her out enjoying them, whether it's in a state park, local parks, or on federal lands. And I learned that she also serves on the Chattanooga Parks and Outdoors Advisory Committee, and today she's serving as our MC. So with that, let's get this celebration started, and please join me in welcoming Megan.
Good morning. We're all excited today? It's a very special day. As Travis said, my name is Megan Plock, and I'm with TDEC's Office of External Affairs, and it truly is an honor to be joining you today as we open our 61st state park. I've had the privilege of working alongside so many individuals that make this region remarkable, and it is a special day. In fact, it's actually historic, not just for all Tennesseans, but especially for Polk County. And we are very excited to dedicate this park with you this morning. Outdoor recreation and tourism are very powerful drivers in this region. You all know this. Fueling local economies, connecting communities, and conserving the natural beauty that makes this region so unique. And what makes that possible today are the collaborations and the partnerships here that thrive. We're thrilled to be joined by members of the Tennessee General Assembly, Representative Howell, Senator Hatcher, and Representative, Ashley. We have our state and our federal partners here. We've got TVA, the U.S. Forest Service, TWRA. We're also celebrating today with other local organizations, the Outfitters, Polk County Commissioners, and members of the Industrial Economic Development Board. And Executive Hatcher, thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate being here with you. So before we dive into things, I just want to go over the schedule with you because we have a very full day. We're going to start with remarks from our great partners in conservation, and we're going to recognize Park Manager Giasante and the Ocoee River State Park team. And then we're going to proceed to the new sign unveiling, and there'll be a photo opportunity. And then after that, for folks who pre-registered, we're going to have a boatload of fun, and we're going to raft down the middle of Ocoee. Woo! And then this afternoon is the second part of our event, our public celebration. So if you're able to stick around town for a little bit, whether you're going rafting or you can go in town and get a bite to eat, come back this afternoon at 2 o'clock, because from 2 until 8, we have a big public celebration. We're going to have music, vendors, food, family-friendly activities. It's going to be a blast, so please join us. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention we couldn't have done it without the Polk County Chamber of Commerce and Four Rivers events. So Lynn and Maritha, thank you so much for your dedication and your deep relationships in this community to help make that event possible. So thank you. Well, that's a perfect segue for our next speaker. Lynn McCleary is the Executive Director for the Polk County Chamber of Commerce. I've been fortunate to work with Lynn for several years now in different capacities. But in the last several months in planning the public event, I've just seen her dedication to the community, the passion, the commitment that she has. And I don't know, Lynn, how you do it all between the chamber and volunteering with the football club at the high school, serving on other committees, being on the ORED board. I don't think she sleeps. She does it all, and I'm just so fortunate to have the opportunity to work with her planning the public event and doing other activities here in Polk County. So her energy is contagious, and she's a huge leader in helping Polk County thrive. If you would give a warm welcome to Lynn McCleary, everyone. Navigate my way through here.
So, good morning, everyone, and let me welcome you on behalf of the Chamber and our local community to Polk County and to Ocoee River State Park. As Director of the Polk County Chamber of Commerce, it is a professional honor to be here today, and it's also a personal joy to stand here with you in this dedication. The opportunity I have had to work with Tennessee State Parks has been hands down one of my favorite parts of this job over the past several years. But today is a little more than just that. It's personal for me as well. See, as a child, I grew up around here. And I remember growing up with family trips to the Hiwassee and the Ocoee rivers. I particularly remember as a child seeing the sun on the Parksville Lake and the lower Ocoee as it sparkled across the surface. To my 4-year-old eyes, it looked like diamonds across the water. And I remember thinking to myself at that point, this must be the richest place ever to live. And now to be here later in life celebrating the Ocoee River being recognized with its own state park really is a full circle moment. For those of us who are blessed enough to live here and raise our families here, we've always known the beauty and the value of this river. And now as a Tennessee State Park, we have even more opportunity to share that blessing with visitors from across our great state and beyond. On behalf of our community, our Chamber family, myself, and my family, I want to thank Tennessee State Parks. I want to thank Governor Lee. I want to thank the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, our local rangers and their staff, and every hand that has worked to make this day a reality. Today is more than the designation of a new state park. It is an investment in our heritage, our environment, and our future. And I am very grateful to be able to stand here today and to share in this milestone with all of those who helped make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Our next speaker might have walked a Sugarloaf this morning. He lives here in Polk County and has represented District 22 since 2013. Before stepping into public service, Representative Dan Howell was a familiar face on local television as a news anchor. That background in journalism laid the foundation for his approach in leadership, one rooted in curiosity, accountability, and a commitment to learning the facts. Dan is the chair of the House Transportation Committee, a member of other key committees in our state legislature. He's also chair of the ORED Board, which stands for the Ocoee River Recreation and Economic Development Fund Board. That's why we use an acronym. And he continues to advocate for the economic vitality for our region. Dan, I admire your perseverance and your intentional engagement. He asks the hard questions, listens to diverse perspectives, and seeks out the facts, qualities that are deeply needed in public service. Representative Howell, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Megan. What a joy to be here. People tell me I look so calm on the outside, but trust me, inside I'm jumping up and down with joy. And Travis said he was a PK. I am too. Plus, I'm a politician, and I talked for a living all my life, so you're in trouble. It is such a joy to see the culmination of what so many have worked so hard to accomplish. And I appreciate Deputy Commissioner Greer. We had a good lunch yesterday, great discussion, so many good, exciting things that we can visualize on the horizon. If we can accomplish them all, wow, it's going to be exciting, Commissioner. By the way, Commissioner Bryson, glad to have you with us today as well. I want to recognize two of my dear friends, Representative Ashley, who serves on Transportation Committee with me, and also Senator Tom Hatcher, who you'll hear from a little later. But these are two dear friends that we can go to and discuss issues in the legislature, and they know all about this area. We talk about it a lot. Of course, Tom represents, as a senator, represents this area. But I'm also glad to see Polk County Commissioner Kelly Morgan here. It's important to have the support of your local officials, local elected officials, and I'm so glad that you're here today, Kelly. The Ocoee River is important to me. In fact, Polk County is kind of important to me, and I'll try not to talk too long. But someone earlier was asking about how long I'd lived here. About 3 years, actually. We live, if you put the boat in right here, in about 20 minutes you'd be at our steps going up into our house. We're on the river downstream. But my roots go deep in Polk County. Not personally, but I've lived here 3 years, but my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Levin Savage, fought for liberty from the British on Chilhowie Mountain right there against the British and the Cherokee Indians. So what's the likelihood that his great-great-great-great-grandson would turn around and become the representative for Polk County? That's kind of unique. And this area has such a rich history, especially the Ocoee River that we're dedicating today as a state park. Going back to the Olympics, I was there. How many of you were there at the '96 Olympics? Several. You remember it well. And I even remember further back than that, the history that I've read, 150 years of pollution from the mining operations. The river was ecologically dead. Nothing grew there, no fish, no aquatic life, no vegetation. It was dead. 50-mile radius, square miles of land up at the mine site, which you can see from space, by the way. Was dead ecologically. The pH was like a -2. The river's water was like a -2. But of course, back then we didn't have the EPA or TDEC, but we do now, thank the Lord. And through the concerted efforts of the Copper Hill Industries, the EPA, TDEC, and some concerted efforts to reclaim this area, I'm happy to tell you that the Copper Hill Industries just received the Governor's Environmental Stewardship Award last week. You were there, Commissioner, because the area has been reclaimed. Another little tidbit of information, my wife and I were talking to a river guide last week. He was on the river. And we were talking about how good is the fishing. He does a lot of guiding and fishing, and he said, well, just a few months ago, the state record spotted bass was caught in the Ocoee River. And he said, oh, by the way, he said, I took a tour of fishermen down this river some time ago. We spent 2 days fishing the Ocoee River, and between us we caught 300 fish. Now you talk about a success story of what Mother Nature can do with a little help from her friends. And thanks to the EPA, TDEC, and Copper Hill Industries, we now are able to dedicate a beautiful state park, the Ocoee River State Park, and I am so honored to be able to represent this area of Tennessee. Thank you.
Getting patriotic. Oh, thank you. All right, our next speaker is no stranger to public service, and while he may be a little newer to this area, he's already shown a strong willingness to engage, listen, and partner with local leaders and agencies, including TDEC. Senator Tom Hatcher brings over 4 decades of experience in local government and has served in many key committees in our state legislature. Beyond the Capitol, Senator Hatcher and his wife Donna have been deeply involved in their community, and together they founded a local charity that has served the region for more than a decade, reflecting a shared commitment in giving back and lifting others up. Senator Hatcher, I've learned about your collaborative spirit, and I've seen it in your demonstration and willingness to work with TDEC and local leaders and stakeholders to tackle and figure out challenges together. So thank you. I look forward to building that partnership in the years ahead. Senator Hatcher, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Megan. I got the email to ask me to speak this morning, and I made a big mistake because I thought it said 20 minutes. But when I got here, she said I had 2 minutes, so I throwed away everything but the first page. So you're in luck. I want to thank everybody that has been involved in putting this together and making this come to fruition. It is a fabulous, fabulous endeavor here for this community. And that I know the chamber members worked on that, our county commission here, our mayor, and a lot of people that has been involved. And I just want to say thank you for what you've done. I love getting down here. So I promise you, I live at the foot of the Smoky Mountains in Blount County. And I tell you what, this is just a different type of beautiful down here in the Ocoee region. And I really, really thank you all for allowing me to serve you here in Polk County. Let me say thank you for joining us today at the Ocoee River State Park as we celebrate the dedication of this remarkable natural resource. The designation is more than just a title. It's recognition of an immense value of our natural landscape in Tennessee. It represents a strategic investment in both the environment and our economy here. And it will serve as a powerful catalyst for regional growth. With the addition of the new state park, we're opening the door to new opportunities for tourism, recreation, and conservation. Visitors from across the state and beyond will be drawn here to the Ocoee Park. Tennessee state parks continue to set the natural standard, and with this newest addition, we're building on that legacy. We look forward to the positive impact this park will bring today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. Again, thank you all for being here, and again, thank you for allowing me to serve you.
Thank you, Senator. Communities flourish when we can work together, and our next 2 speakers represent 2 federal agencies that play a significant role in the Ocoee River corridor. At this time, I'd like to introduce Michael McCall, the Tennessee Valley Authority's Vice President of Environment and Stewardship and Sustainability. He has worked with the TVA for over 20 years and serves as TVA's Chief Sustainability Officer. In his current role, Michael leads the TVA's efforts in environmental stewardship, sustainable reporting, managing programs aimed at reducing emissions, increasing energy efficiency, conserving biodiversity, and improving water use. Under his leadership, TVA has emphasized shifting from mere environmental compliance towards proactive stewardship in its environmental operations. Michael, thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, we're really proud to be here on behalf of TVA. So a couple things. So, TVA has been involved a lot, over 90 years, a lot of different things that we've been involved in. I dare say nothing as impressive as helping to build a system of dams that really creates, transforming a mountain river into an international marvel. And so that's something that we're really proud of. We're proud to partner with all of you all to do that. And I think about, what is the essence of TVA really? And it truly is thinking about partnerships, but it's really thinking about investing in infrastructure that creates opportunities for generations to come. So again, that's what we've been doing for over 90 years. We're proud to do it, and really proud to be a part with each and every one of you to do that. A couple things, as we think about some of the partnerships that we've got represented here, we've got other partnerships too for us. So Volunteer Energy that helps to serve electricity to this region is a vital partner for us. So it's not just about managing the river system, managing the public lands. It's about keeping the economy growing here through things like energy supply as well too. So we've got those partnerships that are behind the scenes that help afford a lot of this that you're seeing today. And so really want to thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the partnerships. And as I really think about, what does the future hold for us, I kind of think about the old saying that, the greatness of a society is really measured by the willingness of folks to plant trees that they'll never sit under the shade of for. And that's what this is to me, is the state of Tennessee. We're building something here that'll outlive all of us. And so I'm really proud to see that. And I think it truly is a testament to the leadership of these partners that you've got here and the public servants that you've got working for you in the state of Tennessee. So we're proud to be here. Congratulations, and look forward to a lot more down the road.
Our next speaker is someone that many of us have had the pleasure of working alongside, someone who exemplifies what it means to lead through collaboration. Philip Earhart is the District Ranger for the Ocoee Ranger District for the Cherokee National Forest. He's brought deep expertise and a genuine willingness to partner with agencies like TDEC, local communities, and with all of us who care about the future of this incredible landscape. Philip's journey with the Cherokee National Forest began in 2011, and over the years have served in many positions. Philip oversees a wide range of responsibilities across one of the most ecologically diverse areas of the National Forest and in the Southeast. Having served in collaborations with Philip, I can personally attest to his thoughtful approach, his openness to dialogue, and steady leadership. He listens, engages, and acts with purpose. Philip, thank you for being here today and for the work you do every day to steward this incredible place.
There's a big part of me wants to just stop right now because I'm not sure I can live up to everything Megan said, but thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. As Megan said, my name is Philip Earhart. I'm the District Ranger for the Ocoee-Hiwassee Ranger District right here on the Cherokee National Forest. I'm here today on behalf of the Forest Supervisor Mike Bright, who unfortunately was not able to be here today because he's assisting with a wildfire in Washington State. But this partnership means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to you all as well. As Megan kind of alluded to, I've lived here for the last 18 years, and I'm proud to call this place home. Our children were born here. We were blessed with the opportunity to build a house on my wife's family farm just a few miles down the road, and Lord willing, I plan to retire here. I started here in 2011 as a law enforcement officer with the Forest Service here on the Ocoee Ranger District. And I look around and I see several of the park rangers and officers that I had the pleasure to work with over those years and build some great relationships. I have moved through some different agency positions here, but I was blessed with the opportunity to come back home to the Ocoee in January of 2023. And now it's my honor and privilege to be able to continue to work with our partners here on this next chapter with the creation of the Ocoee River State Park. I'm trying to think about, what to say today and how to convey, what this relationship means to us. I thought about some of the trials we've been through recently and how when you go through those trials, it's the ability to lean on your partners to overcome. Starting with the fire that happened at the Ocoee Whitewater Center in 2022, then through a series of floods that we've had that's impacted our road system, and of course culminating with Hurricane Helene that was just over a year ago, that we'll be working to rebuild for years to come. But to quote the great stateswoman Dolly Parton, storms make trees take deeper roots. And these storms have truly brought us closer together with deeper and stronger roots that are going to help prepare us for whatever the future holds. According to State Parks website, Tennessee has got 61 state parks as of today. And I'll have to say, I'm really glad I double checked because my notes I was given before said 60, and I looked again this morning to make sure. So congratulations, today is 61. But from Red Clay to Roan Mountain, 8 of those state parks are adjacent or in very close proximity to national forest lands. And the decisions that we make individually will impact us all collectively. And I can't think of a better example where our partnership is closer or stronger than right here on the Ocoee. On any given day, members of the public are likely to see representatives from 3 to 5 different agencies serving them here in the Ocoee River Corridor. The value of their experiences is shared by us all together on this land that we've been entrusted to stewardship. The state is number 1 in the Southeast and number 6 nationally in 10-year GDP growth for outdoor recreation. And what we're doing here today will only strengthen and embolden this. Some estimates report that outdoor recreation generated $13 billion in 2023 and supported 103,000 jobs. And that ranks number 2 in the Southeast. Outdoor recreation is incredibly important to this area for countless reasons. The public lands and streams that are located on state parks and national forests, they safeguard watersheds, they ensure the availability of clean water, and they enhance biodiversity. As Megan alluded to, this is one of the most diverse areas in the entire world, and we're proud to steward that. Many of our collective outdoor spaces are located along the Nolichucky, Hiwassee, and the Ocoee rivers. And as the water from these rivers travels downstream, they collectively support clean drinking water for approximately 5.2 million people. So our shared vision and shared stewardship of these lands that have been entrusted to us as land managers is important to ensure that we provide lasting and meaningful recreation opportunities to our local communities and visitors, and always provide clean drinking water. While each of our agencies has different strategic goals, we've proven here on the Ocoee that together we can accomplish so much more than we could ever do alone. And in closing, I'm very proud of what our dedicated staff of the U.S. Forest Service has done to serve the public. And I'm even more proud of what we're going to be able to do together as partners to conserve these outdoor spaces and provide high-quality recreational opportunity for years to come. I look forward to working with our great partners at Tennessee State Parks to ensure these opportunities are passed on through generations with our shared stewardship on the Cherokee National Forest and the Ocoee River State Park. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you, Philip. Now I'd like to introduce TDEC's Bureau of Conservation Deputy Commissioner Greer Tidwell. Greer came on board as Deputy Commissioner to TDEC in 2022, and he served on several leadership organizations and brings that strategic leadership mindset to our department. He's no stranger to the outdoors and is intentional about encouraging others to make connections to nature, whether on the land or on the water. Greer fosters those connections by emphasizing the importance of conserving and promoting these unique recreational and natural resources. And boy, we have such a gem here in the Ocoee River Corridor. This is actually Greer's second experience working with TDEC. Greer served as general counsel with TDEC back during the '96 Olympics, so I know that the Ocoee has a very special place in his heart. Deputy Commissioner, thank you for being here and honoring us with your presence this morning.
Thank you, Megan. Yes, Ocoee River has a very special place in my heart for several reasons. Not the least of which is I came down here early enough to be on time for this, to wake up here on the Ocoee River. And at dawn, I was reeling in spotted bass. Where's my buddy Kim Moore over there? Spotted bass. I didn't catch 300 that morning, but I caught more than half a dozen spotted bass right off the dock of Ryan's beautiful place where Marion and I were staying. And in the afternoon yesterday, I got to swim in the Ocoee River. And I know that's not what the paddle guys necessarily want you to do when you're on their rafts, but jumping off the dock was just perfect. And I share that, Chairman Howe and Senator Hatcher, because my earliest memory of a river is right up here. I lived in Chattanooga. My dad worked for TVA. He was, before it was a vice president's role, he was sort of the first environmental engineer for TVA long, long ago when we worked in Chattanooga. And I remember that as the first job. My first awareness of a job was Dad working for TVA. My first memory of a river was hearing that Grumman canoe, aluminum Grumman canoe, scrape the bottom on the Hiwassee as he would take me fishing. And I'd stay in the canoe while he'd get out and wade fish and enjoy time on that Hiwassee River. So it means a lot to me to realize that now, after the cleanup of Copper Basin, you're so right, Chairman, and Dad served as a environmental engineering consultant on that big project, one of the projects he was most proud of and shared with his grandkids, and it's something I knew about from the time I was a little kid. But to be able to go swim in that river and catch healthy, beautiful fish out of that river, deeply impactful to me. And to recognize with the leadership of Governor Lee, my Commissioner David Salyers, and I will get to Jim Bryson here in just a minute, Commissioner Bryson, that we're going to be able to raise this into a separate and distinct park is very befitting to the special place this is, the special park it's going to be, and the special people involved. And as a place to think about the heritage of the United States of America and our people caring enough to clean up a place like Copper Basin that for centuries had been used to produce copper to push society forward. And then we invested the time and effort and money to clean it up so that we can now be here talking about what we're talking about. That's part of what makes this a special place. And now and into the future, this is going to be a very special park. We're going to be staffing it and giving it the focus to allow this next era of our roles together with U.S. Forest Service and TVA, in particular with U.S. Forest Service, this next era of our roles together in hosting millions who come through the Cherokee National Forest, who get onto a TVA-controlled river and into Ocoee River State Park. Hosting is what we do at state parks, right, Rangers? mean, our mission, preserve, protect, and share. Share, and that's hosting right there. And we want to do it in a way that when people come into our parks, they leave as stronger stewards. You mentioned stewardship deeply there, Philip, and that is a very deeply shared mission of ours, to build up those stewards. So when we host folks as a state park, that's what we're doing. We're bringing them into our home. We want them to be safe, we want them to have a good time, and we want them to go away as stronger stewards. A couple of things we're going to be doing, and we've got a deep level of focus on the next chapter of our stewardship roles with U.S. Forest Service. We're going to be talking with TVA in some very serious discussions about how to make sure we extend that contract for whitewater flow, whitewater recreation flow out into the future. We've got to get onto that, and now that we're setting this up as a state park, distinct and separate, I know, Mike, that's a focus of the agency. And we're going to be working together on that and try to achieve a longer-term vision and confidence level that whitewater recreation flow is going to be available to us to keep this engine for the economy and the engine for stewardship going into the future. Megan was sweet to mention that I served before in Department of Environment Conservation as the head of the law department, and we had some pretty tough negotiations with the International Olympic Committee. You said this was an international marvel, and you're exactly right, Mike. To go through the negotiations with TVA, EPA, Forest Service, and I'll just tell you, the toughest folks I ever ran into to negotiate with was the International Olympic Committee. They kind of think they walk on water, y'all. And I love them. They do an important thing internationally. But oh my gosh, tough negotiations. And with that as a background of success, I think looking ahead, we've got great success ahead of us. We're committed to focusing on that. Special place, special park. Our park rangers here are going to have, with their sister park rangers at Hiawassee, a duty of protecting folks on this river that matches their passion for the outdoors and for hosting and sharing what we've got up here. And that's a special park ranger role. And we really deeply appreciate those who put their lives on the line to make sure our folks get up and down the river as safely as possible. And speaking of special people, our commissioner of the Department of Environment and Conservation had a family commitment from several months ago and couldn't be here, but he's a river dude. It's a West Tennessee river dude. It's a little bit different, but he's a river dude. And he knows that getting folks on the river and folks falling in love with the river is a deep level of strength for a community. He thinks of the Department of Environment and Conservation, and he teaches us it's the Department of the Quality of Life, Commissioner Bryson. You heard him say that. And I think of it, and he thinks of it as well, as the chief recruiter for the state of Tennessee. And if anybody's here from the tourism department or from ECD, I'll tell you why we think of it that way. The tourism department is about marketing Tennessee, and they do a fabulous job of it, and they're into it every day, and they're getting better and better all the time. Economic and community development is about finding those potential organizations that we can bring in, find those prospects and introduce them to Tennessee. But the Department of Environment and Conservation, responsible for clean air and water and for state parks, is the group that helps those folks fall in love with Tennessee. And that's why we are the chief recruiters of Tennessee and responsible for helping us grow. We take that on with love because Governor Lee wants folks to come fall in love with Tennessee. And if I might, speaking of Governor Lee, I want to say something about our dear friend and leader, Jim Bryson, Commissioner of Finance and Administration. That makes him the Chief Financial Officer for the state of Tennessee in short term. He has taken on the role of figuring out a pathway to fulfill Governor Lee's heartfelt love of the great outdoors. That's how I see what you've been doing, Commissioner Bryson. And today we're going to recognize his role in that by assigning him with a little bit of a surprise here. If you don't mind, given your role in the financial organization, we know you're a pretty good counter. And we would sure love it if you would do the honors of doing the countdown for the sign unveiling after Manager Jan Santos speaks, okay? All right. That is the place of honor, and I want everybody to recognize. Exactly. Yeah, 3, 10, it's up to him, Christina. I've learned this. You need to learn it too. It's up to you.
Start at 61?
There you go. So, thank you, Commissioner Bryson, for all you've done to set this Bureau of Conservation and the whole state of Tennessee up for success moving forward. It's now my honor to introduce, or give it back to Megan. You tell me. All right, I won't give it back to Megan. I wanted to introduce Angelo, so I'm going to say something about him anyway. Take privilege up here. My Siri, when I say call Angelo, Siri comes back and says, calling Angelo Giant Santa. and isn't that sort of fitting? All these folks who work with Angelo, someone who we trust so deeply and who cares so deeply. With that, I want to turn it back over to Master of Ceremonies, Megan. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Some people take on a job, others take on a mission, and our next speaker is the latter. Angelo Giasante is the kind of public servant who reminds us why parks matter, not just as places of beauty and recreation, but as spaces of connection, healing, and community. Angelo joined Ocoee Scenic River State Park back in 2007 as a ranger, steadily taking on more responsibilities over the years, and in 2018 was named park manager for Ocoee. Before his career in parks, Angelo served our country as in the U.S. Army as a sergeant with the tour in Iraq. That experience continued to shape his leadership style, disciplined, mission-focused, and grounded in service to others. As park manager, he doesn't just oversee operations. He leads with heart, humility, and unwavering commitment to the mission. For Angelo, service isn't about recognition, it's about the impact, and shows up every day with a selfless drive and faithful spirit to move the park and his community forward. Angelo leads by example and is a true champion for the Tennessee State Park system and for the community. And yes, he is truly a champion. Back in high school, a state wrestling champion. That grit and determination didn't stop on the mat. It continues every day in his work to protect and enhance a place we all cherish, the Ocoee River. A warm welcome for Angelo Giasante, please.
Well, Giant Sante wants to make sure the mic is where he can reach it, so there we are. I'm going to allow myself just a second. I just want to thank my daughter for being here, Ellie, and I want to thank God for the privilege of being your dad. I just really appreciate you. We've heard a lot of talks about resources. We've got some great ones. We've got these rivers, we've got these mountains. I think our best resource, and what I tell people our best resource is our people in Polk County. They're kind. They have a wonderful culture. They're helpful. They're welcoming. when I got here, I planned on being here 2 years, and this county sank into my bones, and I bought a house and raised my family here, and I don't plan on leaving. So our best resource is our people. A resource that often doesn't get mentioned, and I want to bring notice to this right now because we're going to be using their services in just a short amount of time. The saying that I cannot stand to hear is just a river guide. Our river guides are one of our greatest assets. They are amazing people. They are selfless. They are brave. They are skilled. And all they want to do is show our guests a good time. I am humbled by their dedication. I've seen them throw themselves in the river to help rescue people. I've seen them with strangers. And the skill set it takes to grab 6 people some of which don't know how to swim or speak English and get down this river is one heck of a skill set. So I want to thank you all for being a part of my workday because it inspires me. Have you guys ever just had something in your life that you wanted so bad, that you prayed for it, that you lost sleep for it, that you just wanted to force to make it happen? You just felt this in your heart. It was almost like it was just this drive, this never-ending drive. I've got to make this happen. It is very rare and special when someone can take a dream or idea and bring it into reality. It takes a lot of sacrifice, it takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of you seeing a vision that no one else sees. Cherokee people found that in this land when they fished and hunted and made this a home. The settlers, when they discovered copper up in Copper Basin, could you imagine realizing I'm sitting on a gold mine, well, a copper mine, but all I got to do is get this copper to Cleveland, but there's no roads, there's no access. Oh, the frustration. That pioneer spirit and that drive to make that road happen. The fun thing is about that is that when the old copper road was formed, dreams get to layer upon dreams. Decades after that, hydropower, the dream of benefiting a community, the dream of bringing lights to homes, the dream of this new invention came along. The Ocoee was cited as a perfect place for hydropower, and yet we had a road there because an old copper road was established. Families packed up, they came here, they worked, they toiled, they believed in this. They built this 5-mile flume. They built these tremendous dams, one of which is right here in the background. I can't see it, but you guys probably can. Those dreams created a village that never saw a car. Those dreams created dams that decades later would allow us to raft in the summer, not just in the winter when the water table was up. Speaking of that, in the 70s, you had some people come by in some old World War II surplus rafts and just decided to give this thing a shot because whitewater rafting was coming a big hit out west, and they said, this river looks pretty fun. It's a coincidence in time that right about that time happened, the flume was being repaired. And these people fell in love with this river. A lot of these outfitters out here recognize this is a perfect river to bring families and to introduce people to whitewater. And they fought for that dream to make it a reality. They went to D.C. They fought and they would not refuse. They refused to accept anything except for that dream of taking people down the river. And because of that refusal to give up, because of that determination to make that dream a reality, in 1996, the entire world got to watch the United States Olympics occur right there on our river through their efforts. It's not just about rafting, though. It's about the joy that it has to offer families. It's about that shared experience because unlike mountain biking, hiking, any of those outdoor pursuits, which are wonderful, there's not another one that I can find. And I challenge you, you can come up to me later and tell me if there's another one where we're all having to work together. And when we all sit down and eat, we have that shared experience because I'm watching you, you're watching me. And for me personally, it gives me my family back because as my kids get older, they get less interested in the old man and what he's got to do. But when we all get done with a rafting trip, we all share that adventure. We all talk about it. And it gives me my children back for a little while. And that's a heck of a gift for millions of people to have been able to experience. And so I want to thank our partners. I want to thank the TVA. They've been wonderful to work with. I don't just consider Philip a co-worker. I consider him a friend. We've had a lot of late night talks, a lot of phone calls to try to figure out what team works best and how to make this happen and where can we fill the gaps. I love him. I also want to identify our staff. If you guys could raise your hands if you work for Ocoee State Park, please raise your hand. We've got Howard Deverell with over 40 years of experience. We've got Adam, who has been the River Ranger for all by himself almost this whole summer, other than me filling in. We've got Darby and James, who have about 40 days of experience, but that's okay, we're working on it. And that bright green shirt is DJ. DJ started as a seasonal and earned his way to a full-time position by being there whenever he was asked, without ever a complaint, always having a smile on his face. He's extremely capable, and he's definitely the right person to work us into the future and get these things right. Thank you, DJ. And last but not least is Carrie Motes, who has been the administrative assistant for not one but two state parks for years now. She's been doing double duty. It is oftentimes where I come into the office or out of the office at way off hours, and there she is, still plodding away without a complaint, and always willing to help everyone, including me, who can't figure out how to work their computer. So, thank you. Dreams take a team. It's very rare that you can do a dream by yourself. It takes a whole bunch of people. And a majority of those people are sitting under this tent. I appreciate the fact that this has attracted the attention of Senator Blackburn. Her aide is here today. I appreciate the fact that this has allowed 3 government agencies in a world where we always complain about the government to say, hey, this is what happens when everybody works together and makes a beautiful thing. And I really appreciate the privilege of being here to celebrate a new dream and being able to officially say, welcome to Ocoee State Park.
Thank you, Angelo. All right, this is exciting. It's official. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do some photos with a big sign revealing. Commissioner, you're going to be counting us down from 61. Is that what you said? All right, so we'll walk over there as a group. We're going to take some photos with our speakers first, some elected officials. There'll be some other photo opportunities. But before we head out, I want to show great appreciation to the outfitters that are supporting our rafting trip today, providing their services, their guides, their gear. So Adventures Unlimited, Cherokee Rafting, OAR, Ocoee Inn, and Quest Expeditions. Thank you guys so much for showing up and helping us out today. And because we're about to break and there's going to be some movement, I just want to, well, I've got everyone. For the folks who did sign up for rafting, what we're going to do is we're going to take the photos, and there'll be some time for you to change. We've got change rooms over by the portable bathrooms over there. We also have the restrooms up at the parking area. If you need to change, gather your things. This is the time to do so. We're going to rendezvous over at this pavilion up here on the top of the hill where you see the buses and all the gear at approximately 11:45, so that should give you plenty of time to change. Please leave your valuables in your car. If you need to take your keys, we'll be able to keep them on the bus for you, but don't bring anything you want in your pockets that you want lost in the river, because it happens all the time. So please lock those valuables up, and at this time, if we'll stand up, we'll head over. We're going to walk towards the west, over by the sign, and we'll take some photos. Thank you all for being here. Oh, and please eat some food. We have lots of food left over.